So, yeah, that was an interesting event, huh? Wouldn't you agree?
It's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love how the whole thing just kind of related to our thesis. It is easier.
It meshed very well.
Yeah, that's exactly my point exactly. It is easier to lie than tell the truth. I mean that's just like the thesis of the whole thing. And that also reminds me of of this quote from Aaron Brockovich. I think this is how it went. Something like this, Aaron. It could take forever. They'd completely bury us in paperwork. I'm just one guy with a shitty little PI firm. I mean, it's just so monumental. It displays how it's so difficult for one individual to
make a difference, frankly.
Yeah, to make a
Against a
difference.
large, executive figure.
To bring out the truth. I mean, he's buried by all this stuff, all these lies, all this money. Basically, Aaron and Ed, they have a really difficult time showing what the truth really is when they're faced up against a major corporation who are trying to spread deceit and lies. I mean, that's what it really comes down to.
Definitely.
Which ties directly back to our theme.
Yeah, this is true. And also, the Wayfarer, remember that poem we read? You know how at the very end, the last line of the poem, doubtless there are other roads? It's one.
Wait, didn't the guy in the corporation say that somewhere?
I believe Mr. Hammond might have mentioned it.
Mr. Hammond may have said
Did he?
That just ties it together.
That's weird.
That's very weird.
That couldn't have been done any more brilliantly.
Well, it ties in with like the motif of the dirty water, which you see throughout the movie. You see it in the beginning with you. I think it was you, wasn't brushing your teeth and a glass of water.
I mean, he sees the road, and it's difficult to go down. It's the road of truth, right?
Exactly. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, it's difficult to go down, and he decides not to because it is difficult to bring out the truth. It's so much easier to lie.
Yeah.
So much easier to face deceit.
But is that the right thing to do?
I don't know. I'm not a metaphysician.
I'm not a doctor either.
No, man, I totally agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminds me of An Enemy of the People, when Dr. Stockman was standing there against like the entire community, right? And he was just one man, and he said, the most dangerous foe to the truth is the solid majority, which I totally agree with because...
I do remember him saying that.
Right, because generally speaking, the minority or the very few people are willing to put in the effort to pervade the truth, whereas the majority will take the easier route, and say, they'll go along with the lie. So while the majority is saying, I don't want to go along with the truth, I don't want to put in the effort. So really, it's a lot harder to pervade the truth, and therefore fewer people want to do it because it's a much more difficult route than following a lie.
No, lies are bad.
Yeah, they definitely are.
Yeah.
Remember that, kids.
Alright, so one of the things that I really like about our movie is we use a lot of recurring themes. We have good versus evil, you have the dirty water, you have minority versus the majority, good versus evil, that kind of crap. So what I think is really interesting is how this ties very well into the movie that we watched, which was Civil Action.
It does.
I agree.
In action itself.
And one of my favorite quotes from Civil Action, I really think kind of pulls this together, is when John Travolta, the actor, said in a Civil Action, the truth is at the bottom of a bottomless pit.
Amen. That's what it's all about, right there.
I know. That's why it's important to remember that the minority, or the majority, is not always right, and that sometimes you really have to listen to the small voice of that minority.
Small one.
Affirmative action. So I think that really concludes our discussion on The Enemy of the Civil Brockovich, which I really think was a very in-depth and deep movie that really portrayed the themes that we've been discussing about the truth.
One of the best. One of the best.
Oh, I totally agree, Michael. I totally agree.
If I were to grade this discussion,
would you give it an A? I'm not the only one who would give it an A.
An A?
I would give it an A+++.
I mean, if there was
that's a little too far. That's a little too far. You get mad at yourself.
No, but really, if there was an A and there's something above an A that was like
here,
like a letter that came before A.
Like here's the line,
like
and you're over the line.
Yeah, I would put that for us right here, right now. Like if this was a paper that could be graded, like if this was a rubric, I would just write down full everything, 100%, 110%.
I would too.
Mrs. Griffin.
And the more and more you try to cover something up like this, the harder and harder the road of truth will be to go down.
What did I write? What does this say? Don't less? What's this word?
You wrote
Doubt. How do you spell doubt?
You're so
How do you spell doubt?
D-O-U-B-T.
What is it?
D-O-U-B-T.
What? That says donut.